Hello, friends, and welcome to another edition of Talking About Stuff. Today, my guest is Hutch Morzaria, who's a content creator. Hey, Hutch.
Hi, Alex. Nice to.
Okay, you as well. Are you able to tell us a few things about yourself first, please?
Sure. Yeah, I've been writing content for companies probably for about 4 or 5 years now, but I've been in operations and customer service for close to 25 years, and that's kind of what got me started into this field.
Okay, sounds good. So, how would you describe your writing style? Is it like a journalist, fact finding, fiction based, technical, storytelling,
Um,
business?
I like to think that I write the way I speak.
Okay,
So it's very natural and it's not forced. It tries to provide clients or customers with information and informative content that's actually useful to them, and it's not just stuff with keywords and things like that. So that's kind of the way I work, and that's how I talk. So it makes sense.
I see. And what do you enjoy about writing?
I like helping inform people. I like providing information or providing new information, things that they wouldn't necessarily know otherwise. And I like giving it to them in a way that's easy to understand. I mean, I do a lot of technical writing, and I've found that just throwing in the technical mumbo jumbo doesn't help anybody. So I try to dumb it down while still make it informative and useful for people.
Okay, okay, thank you. Have you created content that entertain or educated readers? Can you
Yeah.
describe it?
Well, I think a lot of my content educates readers because that's very much the focus, and that's what my clients want. They want to not just sell a product, but actually provide something that will keep clients coming back more often than not. On a personal basis, I started writing because I wanted to share challenges and passions that I'd had with my own customers, and that's very much the informative type of writing that I've been doing. It's actually telling people about the experience, but also what I've done to resolve the situation and make clients' lives easier.
All right, okay, thank you. And how do you decide what topics to focus on and what format to use?
That's difficult. I mean, if it's for a client, generally the client will give me whatever the title or the keywords or what they're trying to actually write about. If it's for myself, as I said, a lot of it is based on my own experiences. It's based on a challenge that I've had to surpass or deal with over the course of the day or the week, and trying to put that into words so that I can learn from it, but also help other people learn from it.
I see. So, what makes content successful?
I think the fact with the internet now, it's just there's so much information out there, and there's so many people just throwing stuff at the wall hoping it'll stick. Whereas content that's done right is actually informative. It's useful, and it'll keep people coming back because they want to actually learn something, and that's really what will help business. It's not just the flash in the pan, but it's actually the regular visitors that'll continually come back because that's how you're going to get shoppers.
I see. So, after you have published the content, how do you promote it?
Well, a large extent, it's the clients who are doing that on their own. I mean, I will generally put it on Twitter and Facebook and other social platforms. I use LinkedIn a lot for business posts. But to a large extent, my clients will do their own promotions of their own content because it's in their best interest.
Okay, so then how do you know if your content performed well?
Well, generally, if I've got clients coming back regularly, I know that there's some success right there. But in quite a few instances, I've actually got access to a client's Google Analytics account, so I can actually see when my content is performing well, and I can actually watch the traffic and understand how better to format future posts to actually continually drive that sort of traffic into that client.
Okay, I see. Now let's move and touch base about the blogging or vlogging
Mhm.
part. So, why do you think it's important for businesses to share information through their social media?
Well, I think blogging specifically, I guess, is extremely important because, as I said, it's not just a pure sales tool. It's also an information tool. Companies are always looking for ways to reach out to their end customers, and blogging is a great platform to do that. It lets them not just tell clients about why they're good, but also position themselves as thought leaders. It actually lets clients see that they want to go back to this company to actually understand why they want to make that purchase.
I see. So how often should they do it? How often should they blog, basically?
I would suggest for a company that's just getting started, you want to be doing something fairly regular, so weekly at the early stages, just to try to build up a client base. It's all about repetition in those early stages. As you've started to build a client base and clients are comfortable with the type of content and the frequency of content, you can gradually scale it back. But it has to be on a regular basis. I mean, as soon as you stop posting, they're going to go somewhere else. They're going to start looking for other people, and they're just going to disappear. So that if you want to keep people coming back, you need to keep the content going.
Yeah, of course, makes sense. But do you think that vlogging already took over a bit about blogging?
Parts of it, definitely. I think it does depend on the type of content. I mean, review posts, for example, or where you're actually looking at specific electronic items or things like that. Sometimes video and unboxings can't be beat, right? I mean, watching those sorts of things and actually seeing how it all works, it definitely is a more powerful medium than just a blog post about the pros and cons. But I think from a business perspective, I think blogging still has a lot of power because it lets clients not just see the exact issue that you're trying to talk about, but it provides linkages to a lot of other areas. So you can actually cross-post, you can link to other thought leaders, different websites, and actually provide clients with a lot more informed information in a very simple platform.
I see. All right. Thank you. So, Hutch, how did you start to collaborate with CX Master? And if actually you can tell us more about what exactly is CX Master?
Sure, yeah. No, I'm glad you asked about that. So CX Master, I guess, was my first foray into blogging as well. So as I mentioned, I've been in customer service and operations for over 20 years. At certain stages in my career, in my life, like 14, 15 years ago, I was getting frustrated with the clients I was having to deal with, the situations I was having to deal with, and I just kind of wanted to share my pain with the world.
Okay.
And that's where CX Master came from. That's actually my website. I started it, as I said, 14, 15 years ago. And over time, it's progressed from an expression of anguish to more of an expression of information. And I've started using it to educate other customer service professionals and customer experience professionals on best practices, things like KPIs, how to do the job and how to improve things. But CX Master actually got me into blogging as a career because certain other companies around the world have actually found the content, found it informative and useful, and have actually asked me to write for them. And it tied in really well because my initial writing experience or forays for fun have actually started to become a career, which has been interesting.
I see. All right, I definitely encourage my viewers to click on CX Master and have a look at Hutch's work. So for the second and last part of the interview, we're going to talk about the current situation, the COVID stuff. So how do you think COVID-19 affected you and the online community?
Well, I mean, COVID for me, it definitely, I mean, remote working like everybody else, I had to deal with those sorts of concepts. From a blogging perspective, it didn't necessarily impact me. A lot of my clients were remote already, and I was actually working with businesses all around the world, so I didn't really suffer significantly in that respect. What I did suffer, though, is some of my end customers were actually losing traffic and were going out of business themselves.
Oh, I see.
So because they had no business operations, they couldn't continue using my services either. So I did lose a couple of clients because of that, but fortunately I've managed to find some others to replace them. So
I see, that sounds good. So do you think this trend will continue where people would work from home even after the COVID will end?
Personally, I don't think you can put the genie back in the bottle. I think it's permanent. I can't see people wanting to go back to the office now that we've demonstrated, or people have demonstrated, that companies can be as profitable working remotely. I think the fact that a lot of businesses who've had to have head offices in city centers are going to save a lot of money by not having to do that. So I think overall I would say it's definitely a trend that's here to stay.
I see. Yeah, I think so too. So, what would be the first thing that you would like to do after all the COVID restriction will be lifted?
For me, travel actually.
Okay.
So going, actually having a real hot summer holiday.
Nice vacation.
Yeah, somewhere in Mexico or Cuba or something like that would be really nice. But obviously, there's new worries with regards to buffets and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, it's
which I
gonna be
don't know
tough in the
if
beginning.
they'll ever go away. But travel is definitely back on the cards for me.
I see. It's actually on everyone's bucket list.
Yeah.
Obviously, mine
Yeah.
as well. So, as a last question, what would be your best advice for someone that would like to start becoming a content creator? Like, from where should they start?
I would suggest they start the way I did. Just write about what they're passionate about. Write about their personal interests and just start writing because that's a skill in itself. And I know for a fact that my writing has improved over the past 10 years or so. And especially once I've started doing it as a business. So it takes time to build that muscle. It's like anything else. So once you start writing, you can get used to it, and then you can actually start selling your writing. So I think that's the key.
I see. Sounds very good. Thank you very much, Hutch, for participating today. Good luck with everything.
Thanks, Al.
And guys, we'll see you in the next edition. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All
Bye.
right, take care.